I want to get away. I want to get away. I want to get away. I want to fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Last time, first time I listened to Lenny Kravitz, I had bought I had bought a CD. I think I was attending Columbia College at that time, downtown Chicago. I was in film, you know, screenwriting classes, right? Columbia, downtown Chicago. And I was listening to Lenny Kravitz. That was the first time I had started listening to Lenny Kravitz. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, a lot of songs about my story. But yeah, guys. So I really just I got one subject. I might do some random topics here, but I got one subject in mind that Spirit keeps begging me to tell people is how, basically there was a certain point in my life where everybody around me became tape recorders. What do I mean by that? Imagine every time you're around people, you notice you're doing all the talking and everybody's just listening and looking at you like they're just tape recording you. Probably was tape recording me as well as video recording me as well. Maybe I used to come to people's houses and they would have cameras set up and tape recording everything I said and did. My life was literally the Truman Show. So when I start, guys, I've never been gullible or anything like that. I'm the type of person, once I notice something, I make adjustments. And that's how I've always been. I've shown that in my life now, people watching, people of interest, watching what I'm doing. And you see how quick I make adjustments on the fly. I've always been that way. So I've never perceived myself to be gullible. I've always made adjustments, okay, based on what was going on in my environment or whatnot. I see I got an email from my mother talking about if I ever need any help. But so she's still, obviously there's some people who still think I'm stupid. Guys, there's a very non-human component to all of this, okay? Anybody who still thinks I'm stupid by now, well, we don't even have this, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing to even say about that. Anybody who still think I'm stupid and naive now, something is seriously wrong with that person. But like I said, it's a very non-human uh, component to all this. As I sit here and I think about everything that's going on, I say, there's no way human beings could do this, could act like this. I'd be lying to y'all if I didn't say that my relationship with so-called African Americans has been extremely um, affected because of this situation. But my relationship with so-called African Americans was always strained. Okay, because in my life, white people had treated me better than these so-called African Americans. But I had already knew that the whole slave thing had to do with disobedience. Now, why are the African Americans and so many curses on the bloodline? Well, because they didn't listen to the messenger. That's one of the reasons they didn't listen to the messenger. Okay, they've been cursed ever since. It's a lot of curses on the African American bloodlines, and since I broke my generational curse, you can imagine that I'm very apprehensive when it comes to possibly continuing a bloodline with these type of people, because they all pretty much turned on me. And I mean, I'm not surprised, and there's nothing emotional about it at all. I mean, you can drive in the communities, you can see that it seems like God has turned his back on these people. Well, for the most part, he has, because they didn't listen to the messenger. You see, I listened to the messenger. Did I not? Okay. So whenever you see things happening like this, like you might see somebody homeless on the street, you might want to give them money. It's a lesson to me and should be a lesson to other people. Just because that person is begging don't mean you should be giving them money. Because if you can go through what I went through and still be surviving out here, there's no way nobody should be homeless at this point. Based on my story, based on a true story like mine. Because I have survived some shit by myself. It's a reason people sometimes are fucked up and stuff like this. Is a reason for it. Not all the time, but most of the time. You know what I mean? So I know this group of people, and I see, let's say I meet a so-called African American woman, and let's say I like her and stuff like that, but it's still something in the back of my mind that thinks about those generational curses that I want to stay away from. See, and y'all never heard me speak about like this before, but it's the truth. It's the truth, and you guys know I'm only going to speak the truth, even if it shines the spotlight on me, or my skin color, or my so-called whatever kind. Which actually they're not, but y'all know that's another story. I'm going to always shine a light on truth, whether it affects me directly or indirectly. I'm gonna tell the truth. Nobody's gonna stop me from telling the truth. Period. See what I'm saying? But yeah, that's something that's in the back of my head because, well, I mean, obviously, if I was to get with a woman who's a so-called African American, she would have to have broke generational curses too. Obviously, I can't just get with some black motherfucker up in these cities. It's not happening. I tried that in Las Vegas and see what happened. But guys, one more thing too. All these people that had a price. It's funny. I don't have no price. Once again, I try to think objectively about things. How much money would it take for somebody to pay me to go against somebody else? Look, maybe somebody could get away with paying me something, but once I would find out it's about hurting somebody else, I wouldn't want nothing to do with it. Okay, because I do strongly believe in karma, especially now. I mean, the type of stuff that I'm hearing is stuff that you would only think like college people who are into hazing and stuff like that will get into. Never could I dream that people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s could be into some stuff like this. I mean, it seemed like the closer you are to death, it would seem to me like the more you be trying to like get yourself right. But these people only got worse. They must don't believe in God. But yeah, I just wanted to tell y'all that there was a certain point in my life where everybody around me became tape recorders. They just like I would be the only one talking. They would just be looking at me and staring at me, and I felt extremely uncomfortable. Okay, that was extremely uncomfortable. Everybody around you became tape recorders, and they think you don't. They think you don't see that. They think you didn't feel that. Yeah, I felt it and I seen it. That's why I got away from the motherfucker. That's why I disattached. I disattached myself. So easy. People. I know there's people out there that, man, wow, he totally went cold turkey. Well, I mean, I don't accept abuse. I guess some people out here do. I don't. I'd rather be by myself than deal with psychological abuse. Doesn't make any sense. Anybody that makes me feel uncomfortable these days, I'm gonna stay away from you. Period. I don't. I understand people out here need people like that, and they need a crowd. And look, I'm gonna be if people are if I sense any kind of intentional harm to my psychological mind state, I'm gonna separate myself and be to myself. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, but yeah. So yeah, everybody around me became tape recorders. Use your imagination to how that felt coming around people, and they just everything that they said to me was like almost like cliche, like it was fake, it was phony. And for the most part, they was just tape recording everything I said.